For your chance to win a Mohammed Kudus signed and framed shirt, plus the chance to win 15 instant West Ham prizes, visit footballprizes.co.uk for all the details, including terms and conditions. There are only 199 tickets available for this particular prize, and the competition ends on Friday, the 13th of December at 7:30 p.m. And the very best of luck if you enter. A very good morning to you. Welcome to the West Ham Voice on Friday morning. I hope you've all had a relatively good week. Well, we did win on Monday, didn't we? Surely that would have cheered you up somewhat. My apologies for not being on since Monday night. I've been feeling under the weather and not really been up to doing many videos over the past few days. But having said that, it's been fairly quiet since our win against Wolves on Monday night, hasn't it? Look, if you're new to this channel, please do consider becoming a subscriber. Even if you've visited the channel before and you've yet to become a subscriber, please do subscribe if you enjoy the content. And whether you're new, existing subscriber, or just passing through, if you appreciate the content, please hit that like button. So, unlike the past few weeks, the rumours of behind the scenes infighting and replacements lined up to replace Lopetegui have kind of died down over the past 5 days or so. And frankly, that's not necessarily a bad thing because it's been an absolute circus over the past few weeks or so, hasn't it? Now, I want to reflect on the stories about the two individuals who are suggested to be the front runners to replace Lopetegui should West Ham decide to part ways with the current head coach. And the two names that now seem to be prominent are those of Massimiliano Allegri and Graham Potter. Now, it is accurate to say that West Ham have been sounding out the availability of alternatives to Lopetegui. Results and performances have been poor, and it's absolutely correct for the club to be considering alternatives should results mean that we drop closer to the relegation zone than that of the European places. Now, we're certainly not playing like a team challenging for Europe, that's for sure. Now, intermediaries have indeed been sounded out as to whether certain individuals might have an interest in taking over at West Ham should Lopetegui's role become available. And I dare say that if we lose our next two games against informed teams, Bournemouth and Brighton, then the clamouring cries of Lopetegui out will definitely start all over again. However, at this stage, it is safe to say that no offer has been made to any potential replacement, and if no offer has been made, then no rejection of any offer could at all be possible. So when some people suggest that we are close to a deal on bringing Graham Potter to the club, or when some suggest that it's obvious that Allegri has been offered a deal because of his coyness when asked about the West Ham job in a recent interview, the response to both of those is an emphatic couldn't be further from the truth. Allegri was asked directly about links to Premier League jobs, and he joked, "How's my English? Very good." And then when he was asked specifically about the West Ham role, he continued to joke, "Where's the exit?" Now, whilst some will take heart that he's being coy about the job at West Ham, my take is that when he says, "Where's the exit?" That quip is more likely to suggest that he wouldn't be in the least bit interested in middle of the table West Ham. Of course, I could be wrong. You see, when you look at Allegri's history, after 21 years in managing and coaching solely in Italy, where the last 11 years or so have been managing AC Milan and twice at Juventus, he's won 6 Italian Serie A championships in total. He's won 3 Italian Super Cups. He's won 5 Italian Cups, amongst some of his notable achievements. And it's highly unlikely that Allegri is likely to come to West Ham United. Again, like I said, I could be completely wrong. Because you can say never. Because before AC Milan and Juventus, he managed the likes of Sassuolo, where he helped them to win promotion to Serie B some years back. And then he moved to coach Cagliari, where they achieved one of their best, probably the best league positions in Serie A, where they finished ninth back in 2008, 2009. However, my gut says Allegri is likely to be looking for a project which will give him more chance of getting a team back into Europe than end up fighting a relegation battle. Now, that's not to say that I think West Ham is in a relegation battle. We're doing enough to suggest that we will keep our heads just above that parapet. But Allegri, he would consider that he's done his hard graft with teams who aspire but never quite make it over the years. Hence, his link to Roma, the Roma job, is more likely to be to his liking than the West Ham role. Now, having said that, despite his undoubted success in Italy, would Allegri be the right fit for West Ham? Well, when you look at the way he coaches, it could be a no. Why? Well, according to the fans who want someone to bring back excitement to West Ham United, that's not the way Allegri plays. He is, first and foremost, a pragmatic and defensive-minded coach. You see, Italians love defending a game to death. I remember when I was with my ex-wife, she's Italian. I spent many a late summer in Sardinia, where we would go with my ex-brother-in-law to watch Cagliari play. The Italian fans would marvel and appreciate the art of defending as much as they would appreciate attacking football. Now, my ex-brother-in-law was a special fire services fireman, and I would often go to the fire station where they had a five-a-side football pitch at the back, and I would take part playing with his colleagues. And of course, me being acclimatized and accustomed to English football, I would either pump the ball over the top to an attacking player where they'd call the ball back and go free kick because they love playing the football on the floor. And then, of course, my second nature would be to take the ball and run. And instead, all the Italian guys would turn around and go, passa la palla, translated into pass the ball. In other words, what they loved doing was passing the ball sideways, passing the ball back, passing it back to the keeper, and almost walking the ball or passing the ball into the net. That, to Italians, is the beautiful game mantra. So why have I gone off on a tangent? Well, it's more to explain the Italian mentality of how they play their football out there. It's slow, it's deliberate, it's pragmatic, and it's efficient. And defending and passing the ball is as much part of the game as obviously scoring. And that is very much into Italian coaches' mantra. It's in their DNA. It'll be in Allegri's DNA. So yes, a winner over several seasons with some of the most talented football clubs in Italy. But no, I'm not so sure he would make West Ham United any more exciting than what it was under David Moyes and what it currently is under Lopetegui. We might be a little bit more stable, but will we be exciting? I'm not sure. Plus, as I mentioned in a recent show, for Allegri to be considered a contender for the role of head coach at West Ham, David Sullivan would have to break the habit of a lifetime and appoint someone who's got no Premier League experience. Now, I know his credentials are fantastic. All these wins, these trophies, these championship wins in Serie A, etc., mean nothing to the likes of David Sullivan. He's never done that in the time that he's been in charge of West Ham to appoint someone without some kind of Premier League experience. And I doubt he would be want to risk doing that in his mind, going for a head coach now with no Premier League experience yet. So what about Potter? Well, I've already explained my theory of Potter. Yes, he did okay at Swansea in his stint there. And then because of that, he moved to Brighton. But their league finishes under him were 15th, 16th and 9th. Hardly an inspiring CV for a Premier League manager. And no sooner did he take over at Chelsea than him being shown the exit door. In his one season or short season at chaotic Chelsea, he left them in 11th place after losing 11 games out of the 31 he was in charge in. Look, however, to be fair to Potter, Chelsea did make their approach for him when Brighton was sitting third in the Premier League at the time. But for me, I'm not so sure that Potter is the right person for West Ham. For me, I don't know if he could take a team like West Ham in the regularly in the top half of the league. I'm not so sure he can. As a young coach, he studied training methods of Roberto Martinez, who he was coached to at Swansea, and he became inspired by possession-based football. Ironically, Potter was praised by many for his tactical approach when in charge of Brighton, and maybe, just maybe, it's me who is a little bit blinkered in thinking that he may not do well at West Ham, and maybe I'm not giving him the credit that perhaps he deserves. But yet again, as I recently mentioned, Potter is not a Sullivan favourite. So again, just like I mentioned about Allegri not having Premier League experience, with regards to Potter, Sullivan again will have to change his mode. You know, he will have to change his thinking about Potter because he doesn't rate Potter, or he has alluded to in the past of not rating Potter. So has Potter been approached? Yeah, I've no doubt, through intermediaries. Has Allegri been approached? Probably so. Maybe less likely so than Potter. Do I think that after Monday's win over Wolves, it saved Lopetegui's job? Well, it has for now. The next defeat will again put him under the spotlight, as well as the club where the fans will call for the sacking of the head coach to the board. I genuinely don't know what the board will do. I keep being told that the end of this calendar year, stroke the Man City game, is when a decision is more likely to be made. Perhaps what the board will do is evaluate the performances and the results over the past half dozen games over December and then make a decision. Whatever happens, I don't think we've heard the end of the coach in, coach out media circus just yet. It's going to be an interesting rest of December. We go to Bournemouth on Monday night, which is not going to be easy at all. Look, if we can get a decent performance out of that and a decent result, then maybe Lopetegui will continue to demonstrate that he may well be the right man for the job. I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. Like I said, if you're new to the channel, please do become a subscriber of the channel. And whether you're new or not, if you've enjoyed the content, if you appreciate the content, please do hit that like button. I'll be back again on Friday evening. West Ham Friday late is back on. I'll be with Nigel and special guests as well. So do look out for that too. Thank you for joining, and I'll see you all soon.